of days of modified enhanced community quarantine or MECQ in Metro Manila were not happy ones. Now this week on Motoring Forum, we give you gentle reminders to follow and observe as we continue our battle against COVID-19. Those who understood that the M in MECQ stood for modified and not malayang maglibot were anxious and angry at the sight of congested thoroughfares, including parts of EDSA and the crowded entrances at malls and aisles at supermarkets. Anxious out of fear that the COVID-19 contagion will continue to spread, and angry at people, undisciplined, plain ignorant of the dangers, or just uncaring of the consequences of their actions. Many hope that the mad dash to freedom from being cloistered in homes for 2 months was just a momentary lapse. All were stir-crazy and needing a break, and that sanity and discipline would return. It was the weekend, of course, and maybe most of those jostling along the aisles of supermarkets were there for their weekly supply of groceries and other essentials. But the biggest test of the move to MECQ would be the work week, when more businesses, aside from the so-called essential ones related to food, medicine, security, and sanitation, are allowed to open. The biggest fear is this: if the ill discipline continues, physical distancing is not observed, the number of COVID-19 cases will rise, and it's back to a longer stint under ECQ. So, maybe it's a good time for a few reminders. The most important is that the restrictions of the ECQ and the MECQ are essentially the same. Only people authorized to leave home can do so. Those out to buy essentials like food and medicine are reminded to have the necessary quarantine passes. Then there is the list of people allowed to go to work and provide necessary services. The MECQ guidelines lengthen the list of business, trades, and services allowed to resume operations. Their employees are reminded to secure certificates of employment or, in lieu of that, present employer IDs at checkpoints. Whether out for essentials or work, everyone must be reminded that safety protocols mandated by health authorities must continue to be observed. Social distancing of at least 1 meter apart, frequent hand washing, and wearing of masks in public places. With public transport still restricted, they must remember the government's mandate to provide shuttles for employees and encourage carpooling for those with private vehicles, which must comply with physical distancing protocols. And while we're in the mood for reminders, here are more gentle ones. Many malls, banks, shops, and other establishments, both private and public, have been instituting measures to encourage physical distancing at entrances and within buildings or shop premises. Please use them. If it's a circle box on the floor, stay within it. If it's a line, stay right behind it. Don't stray to one side or the other. Make the line of people as even as possible. If there are arrows on aisles, follow the directions. If shops have special procedures for ordering, pickup, or payment, comply. Masks are supposed to be worn properly, covering nose down to chin. Don't pull them down below the chin, especially with people near or around you. It's for your own safety and, more especially, for others. A few reminders for everyone, as areas in the country have all been out of the enhanced community quarantine and are either under modified, enhanced, or general. Our feature this week on Motoring Today's Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines.